Start with an easy one. Our team colors are blue and gold. All right. Upside down works too. Your strength coach is named Tremaine Carroll. All right. Now, this goes to each of you. I'm going to start on this end with you, Devois. You knew how to call the Hogs before you signed with Arkansas. There we go. There's our guy right there. All right, Dre. I know the answer to this one. You knew how to call the Hogs. This is for all of you. All right, Santos. All right, everybody's in on that one. Okay. Now it gets a little tougher. The tallest player on the roster is a junior. True or false? Oh. Well, it's a good thing Dre is a good linebacker. That's all I got to say. The tallest player at 6'9" is freshman Dalton Wagner. So there you go. All right. Catered to each individual. I want each of you to answer this one now. You got lost going to class when you were a freshman on campus. That's pretty unanimous right there. Hey, you guys know your way down to football, though, and that's important. All right. The Razorback, true or false, is the only mascot Arkansas has ever had. All right, good. You guys know your history. The Cardinal was the original mascot. True or false, Hjalte Froholt is from Sweden. From Sweden.
No, Denmark. Is it Denmark?
All right. It's from Denmark. That's exactly right. Very good, guys. True or false? Coach Morris graduated college in 1992. You guys better think about that. What do we got here, guys?
I'm going to go with true.
2-2. He graduated in 1992. Dre and Devois on the money there.
Had to do the math.
That's right. All right, the last one. The last one's as easy as it gets. True or false? We're going to get a victory over Eastern Illinois on Saturday, September 1st. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Guys, let's hear it for Devois Whaley, Drake Greenlaw, Santos Ramirez, and Austin.
I said good afternoon. Maybe have to do some calisthenics, get everybody up. In spite of the rain outside, is it not another great day to be an Arkansas Razorback? Thank you all for being here, and I would say based on what could be a record attendance for this annual event, that there's just a little bit of excitement in the air about Razorback football this year. Is there not? I'd like to take a quick moment to introduce the newest member to our community in the state, my wife, Jennifer. Jennifer, if you'll stand up. Well, maybe you can't stand up. You got a boot on. Sorry. Jennifer and I have been apart for about 8 months. We're just learning how to live under the same roof once again. It's also great to have the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us today and on board for another year of Razorback football, along with Mr. Quinn Grovey and Gino Bell. This broadcast team does an outstanding job bringing us all the action of Razorback football. Let's give our broadcast team a hand. There's another group I want to recognize at this time. Earlier this week, we remembered the legendary Frank Broyles on the anniversary of his passing. Coach Broyles will forever embody the spirit of our football program, a program that is built on history and tradition. No group has done more to build that history and tradition than our former student athletes and coaches. At this time, I'd like to ask for any of our former Razorback student athletes and coaches to stand and remain standing for just a moment. You guys keep standing, please. Stand up for just a second. And now to our current student athletes and coaches. Look around. These are the individuals who have come before you. They've come before you with 41 bowl game appearances, 13 conference championships, and a national championship. And they now stand behind you. Thanks to their hard work and contributions to the success of our program, they have paved the way and provided a path for you to have great success as student athletes and coaches here at the University of Arkansas. Thanks again to each of our former student athletes and coaches, and please know that you are always welcome and will always be a Razorback. Like many of you, I am so excited to get the 2018 football season underway. But I'm also excited for our student athletes and all associated with our football program about the man we have leading our program at this time. Chad Morris has brought new life, a new energy, and a new passion, and quickly changed the culture of our program. He is leading our program with his positive words, attitude, and behavior. He has an unbreakable belief in the success that this program can have, and he displays an unconditional love for our student athletes, his coaches, staff, and all associated with his program. I promise you that great days lie ahead for the Razorback football program. Over the last 9 months, Coach Morris and I have had the chance to travel this state together and meet many of you in this room today and thousands of Razorback fans. One thing that has become very clear was the way our state rallies and supports the Razorbacks. We stand together as one Razorback family, as one state. In 2 weeks from today, on Friday before our season opener, we're going to take that to a new level with one hog call. I'm excited to announce today that on Friday, August the 31st at 1 p.m., we're asking Razorback fans throughout the state and around the globe to join together for one hog call. We want people to stop whatever they're doing, wherever they are, and call the hogs. You guys think I'm kidding about that, don't you? As you know, a hog call is always better with a group, so I encourage you to make plans with family, friends, classmates, and coworkers, and join together as Razorback fans to do a simultaneous hog call to get ready for the 2018 season. In the coming days, we'll be announcing some details about special one hog call events here in Northwest Arkansas and in other communities around the state. And although the Razorback Nation is spread far and wide, through social media, we can connect and share our one hog call experiences. So plan on joining us 2 weeks from today at 1 p.m. for one hog call, and the next day at our newly renovated Razorback Stadium as we cheer on the Hogs in our season opener. Thank you again for being here today, and as always, go Hogs.
So I'm just going to start right there. How did it happen so fast for you?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I've said it a lot, just hard work. I tell our guys all the time, you never know who's watching. And Coach Morris was obviously watching me, and just a lot of hard work and being around great people.
Well, tell us how camp's gone so far.
Camp's going great. Our guys are giving a lot of effort. They're working extremely hard. They've completely bought into what we're trying to do with Coach Morris' system and our philosophy, and couldn't be prouder of the progress we've made since the spring training.
Now, if you follow college football, you know about the Chief. You know about Tennessee. You know about LSU. You know about Texas A&M. Coach Craddock was a Broyles Award nominee. Coach Chavis, the 2011 Broyles Award winner when he was at LSU. Coach, I'm glad you're on our side now. I am glad you're a Razorback. What's that been like for you in a short amount of time?
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and certainly, it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but it's one that I love. The thing that I hadn't got to do as much as I'd like to is ride my bike. But just haven't had time. Coach Morris is keeping us in the office, keeping us busy, and that's a good thing. We got to prepare. But, after we win some games, I look forward to riding the mountains in the Ozark and spending some time there.
Now I'm going to ask you what I asked Coach Craddock. Kind of give us an update on camp, how it's going for your group.
Well, you know what? It's amazing. Our guys were in really great condition when we started, and the competition's been there every day. And for us to get to where we plan on taking this program with Coach Morris's leadership, we got to give each other challenges every day. And there's been days the offense has challenged us from a defensive standpoint, and I hope we've done the same thing to them, because that's the only way we're going to get better. And Coach has a great plan that he's put together. It's been a little bit of a grind, but that's what fall camp is. And our players have responded. And when we've called on them, they've responded. And that's been in my mind, that's been the biggest thing that I can tell you. They are responding when we call on them.
Coach Craddock, we hear about fast pace, tempo. How fast can an offense go? How fast do you want to go?
Well, we're trying to put the hammer down and go full tilt boogie.
Do you have, when you go into a ball game, and I've wondered about this with up-tempo offense, do you have a set number of plays you want to get to? Does the tempo of the ball game dictate that? How do you balance all that?
Yeah, sometimes how the game's going obviously would change a little bit of that. We have a goal. We want to snap the ball at least 80 times a game. We've got all the way up to about 105 in some games. So, like you said, the game dictates some of that, but we want to go as fast as we can to snap the ball at least 80 times a game.
Coach Chavis, you defend it every day in practice, and a lot of people do it now, obviously, as part of their philosophy. You've been doing this a while. How's it changed what you do?
Well, certainly it's a different perspective. It requires you because, we're going to play, 2/3 of the teams that we're going to play are going to be going fast as well. So you got to have depth. You got to have depth. They're talking about, snapping the ball 80 times a game. It's hard to play 80 snaps of defense. If you're playing at the tempo and giving the kind of effort that we demand on defense. So we got to develop that depth. And the old saying is, and it's never been more true, that you're only as good as the next man up.
Coach Chavis, when I think about your defenses, the pressure that they've always put on quarterbacks, especially from the edge. Talk a little bit about that, your philosophy, and how you get to that quarterback so much.
Well, it's what we do, and we sell our players on the fact that, hey, we are a pressure defense, as you said, and we're going to bring pressure. We're going to bring pressure, and if you want to know why that's been part of my philosophy, I hope no one won't take this, but if you're going to kill me, I want you to kill me quick. But my point is, we're going to get there. We're going to get there with our pressure. Our kids take pride in that, and to be honest with you, they love playing in an aggressive scheme.
Coach Craddock, when you're implementing something new, obviously film work, video work, things off the field play so much of a role in everybody getting it, so to speak. Can you kind of take us through that process, what you ask, for example, your quarterbacks to do? What are some of the things they have to do off the field to be successful?
Well, they got to be the first ones in the building, the last ones to leave. They got to watch 10 times as much tape as any other position. We talk about that all the time in our room. I feel like at the quarterback position, you're only as good of an offense as that position. And those guys got to be the first ones in, the last ones leave. They got to lead. They got to be a great leader on and off the field, do the right things on and off the field. And we should never be late. We should be on time, 5 minutes early to everything we do. And we got to have the respect of the other teammates as well.
One of the things that people forget sometimes when they think about spread offenses, the first thing they think about is throwing the football, and that's natural. But running the ball is a big part of what you do, isn't it?
There's no question. You got to be able to run the football at any league, but especially this league. I'm extremely excited about what we have at running back position. Our guys are doing a great job from top to bottom. I know Coach Traylor would be happy with rolling any guy out there we got, and because they're all really good backs. So really feel comfortable with our run game and what we've done so far in fall camp, and we got to continue to get better. But very excited about those guys, and we definitely got to be able to run the football.
Coach Davis, you've coached a lot of great defensive players. What's the common denominator among all the good ones?
I think the biggest thing is toughness and leadership. You got to do it by example. And I think when we start talking about leadership, sometimes we miss the main point. You don't have to be vocal to be a great leader. You got to be present, and you got to do it by example. And some of the best that I've been able to coach were guys that did that. They did it by example, and they led well and never really said a lot.
Guys, I want to wrap it up for this part of the program by asking you a little bit about, and you've each had an opportunity to go around the state. You see the people that are in this room today. Coach Craddock, I'm going to start with you. What's being a Razorback been like, and what do you anticipate in terms of the relationship with the fans moving forward?
Well, I've actually absolutely loved living in Arkansas. I will say that. The weather this past week has been unbelievable. Where we came from last, it was extremely hot. But no, I've really loved living here. I've loved meeting a lot of people. I love the passion that this fan base brings to the Razorbacks, and hopefully I can be here a long, long time.
Coach Davis, as you've traveled around, what do you see from the Razorback fans?
Well, I got to follow, the things that he said, but, really, it's the passion. It's the passion for this football team, but for this university. And certainly, when you start looking at the football team, in most situations, a lot of people refer to it as being the front porch of the university because we get more exposure than a lot of other things. But it's the passions that the fans have, and there's no doubt in my mind. And I've been, this is my fourth stop in the SEC. And I've seen more passion and more people talking about and supporting this program right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas than anywhere else I've been.
Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Joe Craddock, John Chavis, gentlemen, thank you. I ask you about this reception. I mean, you got 1,000 people here.
This is awesome. This is incredible. We needed y'all this morning at about 6:30. We started practice this morning, so I love it. But y'all weren't there because you were out here in the parking lot waiting in line to get in. So thank you. And I know our players and our coaches, let's give them a hand, because I tell you what, our fans being here today, incredible. Thank you all.
I want to give you an opportunity to brag on your staff a little bit. You've got assistant coaches here, you got staffers, you got wives and families that allow it all to happen. Talk about them for a moment.
Well, before I talk about our staff, and I know we got wives and our players, I know that, I saw several of the former players, Razorbacks, past, standing up, and thank you. Thank you for laying the groundwork, the foundation. We hope to see you at our former player barbecue tomorrow. I know we've got close to 500 signed up right now and their families, so that's incredible. You are always, always welcome. I saw Coach Hatfield over here, I believe. Coach, thank you, and we're just so honored and so privileged to be able to carry on the legacy and the tradition that you guys have sweated so long to develop. And face it, this state needs this university needs this, and we're going to get it right. And we're going to get it right because of the coaches and the players that are in this room and the support staff in this room. But the home run hitters are the coaches' wives. And if we got any of our coaches' wives here, if you would just kind of wave your hand high so y'all can see them. This is the home run hitters right here. So our staff has done a great job. We've been here now since early December and hit the ground running and went all out, and it's been incredible. The reception that we've gotten, these guys, our coaches and support staff from a recruiting department. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that we're not talking about recruiting, and we're not talking about building on the tradition in this program. And that's every day. Every day we wake up, every day we get out of that car, get out of that vehicle and walk in that building. If I can avoid Coach Chavis trying to blitz me before I get into the building, because he puts a lot of pressure on us, but we're constantly talking about the culture of this program and what it's about. So I know our band was here, the Palm Squad was here. Thank you all. This is incredible reception. We're not going to let you down, I promise.
I've heard, that's all right, you can clap. That's okay. One of the things that I've heard so many people say is your team is in great condition. And I know that was a big point of emphasis when you got here.
If our strength staff, we're Coach True and our entire strength staff, if y'all would stand up, go ahead and stand up. This group, absolutely. This group, and I know Coach Chavis mentioned it earlier, and Coach Craddock, we got these guys in shape. When they handed them off to us and we reported, and we had our first practice on August 3rd, our guys were in shape. And it's incredible to see the transformation since December, and it's strictly to the buy-in of what our players have done and the commitment to our strength staff. So thank you all, and it's incredible to see what these guys have done in a short period of time.
You have had success at all levels in which you coach. You've obviously got a knack for reaching young people. What's your secret? It sounds like a simple question, but what's the secret to that?
One word: relationships. It's really what it is. And people have asked me all the time, even coaching high school football for as long as I have, and been very fortunate, so fortunate and blessed to be around great coaches and great players. And they ask me all the time, they think it's a scheme, they think it's the offense, they think it's the defense. And I said, no, you're losing the point. It's the relationship. In the ability to build a relationship and to know that these young men, every one of these young men that are here today, man, we want them when they leave our program, if we're doing it the right way, they're going to leave here equipped for tools for life that are going to make them better husbands, better community leaders, just better in society. And if we're doing that, the winning takes care of itself. And so as I go around and I speak to coaches all over the country, that's the first thing I tell them. We got a bunch of young coaches getting in this business. They think it's all about X's and O's. No. You can run whatever you want as long as these guys believe in what you're doing. And it really starts with the relationships.
In terms of your football team, let's talk a little bit about them. I asked your coordinators just kind of give us their thoughts on camp. Your opinion, what do you think so far?
I've been very impressed. The last 2 days, including this morning and yesterday, have been the two of the best days that we've had. These guys have brought it every day, all but one day, and we just had to have a little motivational moment. We had a few up downs to kind of get everybody's attention back right. But we got it back right, and they finished today and had a great day. But we've had a really good camp. I've been very impressed with the progress of what we've installed defensively and offensively and special teams, and where we are at this point in camp. I'm excited. I know these guys are excited about the final scrimmage tomorrow, getting ready to start school on Monday, and then getting into a game week and obviously preparation.
Coach Chavis mentioned that word leadership. I think about the young men who were on stage here a little bit earlier, and you're going to call for all of that, I would guess, this year. Yeah, leadership, and Coach said it best. I mean, you don't have to be the loudest guy in the room to be the best leader. We got one rule, one team rule, and our players can probably recite it right now. They better be able to recite it, but just be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there doing what you're supposed to do to the best of your ability. And it doesn't take a vocal person to follow that rule. And leaders, some of the greatest leaders that I've ever been associated with are those that when they step on the field, everybody gets better, and it's very little what they say, it's what they do. What makes what you do so difficult to defend? Why did you decide this is the route we should go? Well, we're constantly trying to put pressure on defenses through playing fast-paced with tempo. And I know we talked about tempo. You heard Coach Craddock talk just a little bit about it. Tempo is the ability to change the pace of play in a game. And I think you would ask Coach Chavis if you knew the exact pace of the play of game, whether it's full speed, as fast as you can go the entire game, or as slow as you can go the entire game, defensive coordinators would love that. What they don't like is the ability to go really fast, really slow, up, and change the tempo throughout the course of the game. So I think, one, the tempo and the pace of play causes problems. And two, just the ability to go through the run-pass options, the different structures, motioning in and out of structures. You'll see us in two-back. You'll see us in three-back. You'll see us in five-wide. You'll see us in 4x1, motioning back in the backfield. It's just the ability to change the structure and do it at a very fast pace. I know as a head coach you've got a defensive philosophy too. Talk a little bit about that and what you want out of your defense. Yeah, well, offensively, my mind is I've been an offensive coordinator for a long time, and
call plays for a long time, and I've always been an aggressive. I love taking shots. I love doing things when someone says you can't do it and thinking outside the box. I like to think outside of the box. And so from that standpoint, from a defensive coordinator standpoint, when I was looking at, who is that guy, I wanted someone that shared the same philosophies that I had, and that was someone that was going to be aggressive, that someone that took chances, that someone that lived on the edge as far as the way that they coached, and as far as the way they pushed and the way they motivated. And that was one phone call, and I made my very first phone call was to John Chavis, and he's sitting right here today.
One of the things, that's all right, good, thank you. I want to move into special teams, and I also want to ask, there's a rule change this year, the kickoffs, the fair catch, moving it out. How is special teams different now? Is it different now?
It is, with them changing the rule now on kickoff, if you kick it deep and fair catch it and you spot the ball on the 25-yard line. So that's going to be interesting to see the way teams are going to scheme that up, whether they squib kick it. We've heard some teams lining up in an onside kick the majority of the night, and then squibbing it and seeing how you're playing. That'll be interesting. That's something that, you just don't know. But as far as that's concerned, and the special teams aspect of it, obviously when that happens, you're taking one of the most exciting plays of football, the return game, the kickoff return, out of it. So you have options now. If you kick a deep left corner kick and the ball lands at the 5-yard line, instead of bringing it out, you can fair catch it and bring it to the 25-yard line. So, yeah, it is going to change. It's changing. It'll be interesting to see how the first few weeks, I think you're seeing the change happen in the NFL. And, if that is anything we can do to help for player safety, I'm all in favor of it. And they've got statistics to prove where the majority of the concussions occur at is on kickoff units, and man, if that's what's going to help the player safety, then I'm all in favor of that.
In terms of what you talked about a little bit ago, the scrimmage tomorrow, 2 weeks out from the season opener, it's an important day, and I'm going to guess as coaches you have to begin to do a lot of deciding.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a big day for all of them and all of us. We'll come in tomorrow morning, and we've got not quite as long as a scrimmage as we had previous Saturday, but we're going to be intense with it and get some good work and kind of start making the final pairings and kind of seeing, as you start looking at travel squads and looking at guys that, with the red shirt rule changing now, you don't necessarily have to come in and tell a young man, hey, you're red shirting and you're not going to get to play this year. If you're red shirting, you get an opportunity to play in 4 games. And so I really like that. I think that benefits these young men, especially our younger players. So we'll have a better idea tomorrow coming out. And then, we get ready. Tomorrow night we got our team photo. We're excited about that. Got team picture and staff picture and individual pictures. So that's just part of what you do.
I know all of you could stay here all day, and we'd all probably sit around and talk football with Coach Morris all day if he'd let us, but I know we're about to run over time. So I do want to ask you, as we wrap it up, I heard Coach Craddock and Coach Chavis both use that word passion. You've traveled around this state many times since you took the job. What's that been like for you?
Oh, I'm going to just follow right back to what they said, and the word passion just stands out. I was down in SEC Media Days and several weeks ago, and had several questions, and they said, Coach, just sum it up. What is it? And I said, it's the passion, and it's the hunger, and this state is so deserving of something great to happen, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen by us all locking arms and one day at a time being the absolute best Arkansas Razorback that we can be right here, right now. We'll worry about tomorrow, but it's all about being the best we can be today.
All right, folks, let's hear it for our football coach. Let's hear it for Coach Chad Morris.